Hello everyone, this is Paul from the Pin Academy, and we are continuing with our series of showing you guys how to implement whatever we've been teaching you guys on this channel. So we're going to be looking at how you can do multi-time frame analysis, or what some of you term as top-down analysis, right? Now, I'm going to keep reminding you of these steps here. When you're doing multi-time frame analysis, you need to have 3 time frames that are a must. One, you need to have a time frame that is giving you direction. I don't care what time frame you're using, but as long as you have one for direction. The second one you need to have is that is giving you structure, right? And then the third one is for entry. Are we together? Then the fourth one is not a must, but these 3 are a must. The fourth one is refining time frame, whereby you get a better risk to reward ratio. That is not so much important, but direction, structure, and entry, these ones are paramount. So without wasting time, let's just start off with the video. As usual, if you've been following this channel, we start from monthly for our direction, weekly and daily for structure, and then our entry time frames are H1 and H4. So I'll just start from monthly time frame here. So when I start from monthly, you can clearly observe that, of course, we've looked at the Euro USD a couple of times, and I'm going to just go through here and I show you the levels, right? If you've not been following, then you can just still follow through. It's still the same setup. So we have a market that had broken above this area here. The market broke above, right? Then broke down, then broke above. Then currently also it's showing that the market is below this area here, but there's a reason as to why it is below this area here. Now, if you were to check, this level here is almost aligning with this level that you see on the left. The market rejected, and also here it rejected, meaning this area here is a very strong level of support. If you were to extend, it's aligning properly with this area here. So the market can easily either continue below. If the pressure of the dollar is so strong, it can continue below, and then we shall expect this to be a false breakout, then we expect a retest. You guys know how we trade retests. When the market breaks out with a strong momentum, then again, instead of retesting the weak momentum and breaks down with a strong momentum, it makes this a false breakout. So we shall expect a retest here. The momentum matters because again, it can break back above. The market can do whatever it wants. Then we can sell if the momentum is weak, right? So currently we have that level, but there's a reason as to why. I explained it in the first time I was breaking down Euro USD. So when you go down to weekly, we expected this market to actually come below here. If you guys watched that video, and we told you that the reason why it may come below is because of this area here, this structure here. And you can see that's the structure that is holding Euro USD. Why? Because you can clearly observe that the market rejected this area here to come down. The same area here acted as resistance. The market broke out, came back and reacted here, and it was rejected. The market came back and reacted, then finally it broke above. Now, this area here is a very strong level of support because it has a structure and also rejections here showing that there's a presence of sellers. So when the market breaks above, it becomes a level of support, right? Now, also when you look above, let me just increase this. When you look above, we do have an M up here, right? This is an M. And you know that after an M, what do we expect? We expect the market to give us a push back to the neckline. That is one confluence. So the second confluence, the first one, we have a support here, unless we break below. When we break below, it will become a resistance, then we shall be looking for sales. But currently it's support, right? And we expect the market to give us a retest, at least to the neckline area. But also another thing we have is this impulsive move here, right? So after an impulse, you can bring out your Fibonacci retracement tool, whereby we will mark the fib from there up to down here. And at least we expect the market to give us a push until at least the first fib level, or to any of those fib levels there, right? So this is what we have in weekly. Weekly is agreeing with monthly that these areas here are support areas. So we're just waiting for market to give us a change of trend. Then we can see a push up a bit, right? Now, when we go down to daily, does daily agree with this? Now, when you observe daily, daily has clearly been making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high. Now, this area here was not tested properly, and you can clearly see the market had to come back and test this area here. I'll just mark it for you here like this. This area was not tested. I'll just change the color to red. So you can see the market came and tested. So currently we are attempting to make a double bottom. We don't know if it is going to hold yet, right? But also above here, we have levels that are not tested. This is one of them that is not tested. Another area that is not tested is this one here. And at a point X or point Y, the market has to come back and test them. But what do we want to first see? We want to first see the market breaking above this point on a retest. Then we know that our first target is here. On a break here, on a retest, our target is here, right? And you can see all the 3 time frames do align. Now, you guys clearly know that if you're following our group in the Telegram channel, you clearly know that we took this buy here I showed you guys how we took an entry on this buy here. How do we take it? Observe here. The market did give us a series of lower lows, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, equal lows again. Then the market broke below, retested here. So we took our entry after the market giving us this like a false breakout and came back on a retest here. We took this buy here to retest this level here because we knew that this area is not tested, so it's our first target. If the market had broken above, then we'd be looking for sales. For buys, a retest here, and then we continue with the buy to the next untested level. So if you're trading Euro USD, these are the levels that you need to be looking out for. Now, someone will be wondering, but how will I be utilizing these levels that we have just marked? Shall we be utilizing the levels? These are your targets. If you're an intraday trader, these are the targets that you'll be trading depending on where you are. For example, right now, this is a resistance. So if the market changes trend from around here on a retest, this is an area that you'll be targeting. If the market breaks it above on the retest, this is an area that you'll be targeting. If the market breaks above on the retest, this is the area you'll be targeting, and so forth, right? So this is it for those who trade Euro USD, and what also we're observing, the same levels that we're observing. Now, the next trade that I would like us to go through is GBP USD, right? Oh, sorry, I already had setups on this. Actually, we already have a buy there. Let's just go through it afresh. Now, when you start from the monthly time frame, it's almost just like Euro USD, right? So from monthly here, we do have a market that also broke above this area here. We expected retests, right? So monthly, we're expecting a retest here, and then we can push upwards. The market has given us a retest of this area here. I'll just mark it here, because it is a turning point. In case you're not seeing that turning point, you can go to line chart and you'll be able to observe it clearly here, right? So the market is retesting this point here. Then when you go down to weekly, what do we observe in weekly? In weekly also, we did observe the market giving us almost similar to Euro USD. This was a resistance here. Also, it became a resistance here, false breakout, retested here, resistance. Now we had a push up. So the market had to give us a retest to this area here. But of course, we had this turning point here, also acting as a false breakout. So the market is reacting to this level here, right? This level and this level are both support levels. So we expect at least from here, this area around here, the market should give us a push up, meaning weekly and monthly are speaking the same thing. It's what we're interested in. Now, when you come down to daily, what do we observe in daily? Almost just like Euro USD. Here, the market is making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. This one was tested, lower low, lower high. This one was tested. So the moment the market broke above here, we knew that we're looking for buys. That's why you see we do have this area here. Sorry. We do have a support level in this area here, and we have looked for this potential buy upwards here. But also, how do you mark an area that the market could potentially go to? We do have this area. When the market broke it downwards, we didn't have a retest to it. So there's a possibility that the market may have to actually push up to here before we can see what next, right? So let's just slightly go back to H4 timeframes. But before I go there, let's just observe the levels that we are focusing on. We are focusing on this area here and this area here, right? Why? Because the market gave us a loss of momentum here. You guys can all observe this. That's why when we started, I had a pattern here. If you guys trade using patterns, you can use it also. You can see this if you know how to use patterns. Of course, it made the 90% rule, but start to come back and retest structure here before it can give us a push up. Now, let's try to also observe the minor levels in our entry timeframes. In the minor levels, remember also as the market was coming down here, it created structures. For example, we do have a structure here that the market is approaching. So it may actually also hold price by giving us a push here reaction. If it can give us a push here with a weak momentum, then there could be an entry for us to reach this area here. So that is it for those who trade GBP USD. You can actually just adjust this because we read from a bigger time frame. So you can just adjust it like this, right? So for those who trade GBP USD, these are the levels that you can actually focus on. Once the breaks above here, there are other levels that you can mark up there, right? So that's how we do get areas of interest and minor levels from using multi-time frame analysis, or what we call top-down analysis. Now, also, I would like us to take a look at CAD JPY. Now, looking at CAD JPY, of course, we have interest rates, I think, in like 2 hours time. So we shall start as usual from the monthly time frame. Now, when we start from the monthly time frame, we clearly observe that we have a market that just broke. Last month closed when it was broken above this area. And then also this month, we have a price that is approaching that's actually at a very strong level of resistance, right? But you can clearly observe the past months have been bullish. We have higher high, higher low, higher high. So we are currently making a pullback. Are we going to see a higher high, or we are going to see a higher low before we reverse downwards, right? So currently we're at resistance, and this is our support that we have broken. Is the market supposed to provide us a pullback? We shall see if it wasn't done so in smaller time frames. If it was done so, then there are higher chances we could actually continue higher. If there's no retest here in smaller time frames, we expect the market to give us a retest here, right? So when we go down to weekly, what do we see in weekly? In weekly, you can clearly see this is confluencing nicely with the monthly time frame. We had this lower high acting as a resistance here, also acting as a very strong resistance here, right? And the market broke above it. So we're having a market that has broken above this area, confluencing with the monthly time frame. You can see also we had this neckline. The market falsely broke out, came reacted. When we broke up, we retested it. So we have nothing down to worry about here. So there are higher chances the market could not come so down here unless it's changing trend to a bearish momentum. Then also we do have a strong level where the market is. So that is actually forcing the market to do some bit of retracement, as you can see currently, right? So monthly and weekly are currently speaking the same thing. But let's check more levels that we could be interested in the daily time frame. Now, daily time frame is a bit more clearer. I'll just remove this because the market already broke it. So we have a clear movement in daily. We have this higher high, higher low. Then also we have higher high. And so this level here is done that market broke and has not yet tested, right? But also we broke above this area here, and the market has tested it, and you can see it's rejecting it. So I'll just delete this because we don't need it. We're left with these two levels here. This one here, currently where the market is a previous higher high. You can see now acting as a support. So if the market is to reject from it, we're going to make a higher high and break this area here so that we can continue with the series of higher high that we've been making. If the market, we're having news like I've told you, if the market pushes it down, we shall have a retest, and we come back and retest this area here, and then we see if the market will be rejected or it will be broken further. And then on a weekly test, then we can look for sales so that we can identify untested levels like this one here so that we can trade to those levels. But currently, you do not want to start selling in a bullish market because you can see the market has clearly showed you that this is a higher high that the market has broken and retested. Also, the market has broken this point. Even if it's not tested, it doesn't mean that the market automatically has to test it right now. It can test it in the nearby future, right? So let's go further into H4. One of my favorite time frames to use while trading. So we do have the pattern that we have seen in daily appearing here nicely. We do have a higher high. The market gave a pullback. It has created a higher high. So we're having a pullback here. So currently we are having this level here. The market breaks above and closes above this area here. There are higher chances we shall have a weak retest, then we just continue higher, right? But if these levels do hold price, there are levels that we could be actually consolidating here, or it could simply push the price down. So if you want to trade this level here, this price, either wait for it to give us a break above this area, weak retest, then we can push. Or alternatively, you can wait for it to come back into support levels so you can see how it behaves. If it will break on a weak retest, you can sell up to here. If it breaks on a weak retest, you can sell like that. This is how you do trade, right? So that is it. Just I don't want to break down a lot of pairs so that the video is so long. I hope this really made sense to you guys, and you can see how we're implementing exactly what we do share with you guys on this channel. We're not just sharing, but actually we share what we actually use, right? So that is it. I hope you guys can utilize it. Have a nice time and a profitable week ahead.